Happy Tuesday, y'all. I love my new earrings from Anthropology. They're very Cinderella vibes. So if you notice on all my videos, I'm always showing off my earrings. Earrings are my favorite jewelry. But anyway, happy Tuesday. I meant to come on Monday, but I had to make a real quick trip to DC. But anyway, I wanted to hop on and talk about healing things. So healing is something that's so cool. It's a different type of journey. And I feel like people reach out to me all the time with different health conditions and how to really trust God with your health. With their health. So I wanted to do a video on healing things because I feel that this is something that every believer will have to walk. And it's good to know this information while you have stamina. So when the enemy comes and tries to rob you of your healing, you know how to knock it down. So how does healing work? How you learn this? So I actually learned this in my early 20s. I found this book from Kenneth Hagin. So I learned this at like 21. Well, I researched about this because I used to work in the ministry and I had to come up with stuff for a healing seminar. And I was just curious, like, how does healing work? Like, I used to think it was condensed down. Like if you're sick, you go down to the altar call and you get healed. And I read this book. I'm going to post it. I read this book and it changed the way I viewed healing, not knowing that 10 years later, I would be in my own health journey. So I think that God orchestrated that for me to learn it young so I could knock it down when I hit 30. Because the devil gonna try to come through. Let me show how weak you are. Come through. Okay, let's get started. So let me hype you. It doesn't matter what your condition is, what they diagnose you with, where you're at in your health. Whether if you're on hospice, where if they say your cancer has metastasized, your body is full of cancer, whether if they just diagnose you with cancer, whether if they found a tumor, whether if you were diagnosed with a long life illness, you have to be on medication, whatever your circumstances is, there's no issue that's too hard, too impossible, or too difficult for God to handle. I want you to wrap your mind around that. The thing that gets on my nerves with giving God room to do what he got to do. There's two major entities that are working against your health. So you have to have faith. It's necessary. If you live in the United States of America, child, you have to have faith because you have the enemy that's working against you, trying to destroy you with your body and your health. And then you also have our medical system. This medical system is designed for you to accept conditions. Bump the devil real quick. He's weak, he's lame, he's a loser, and you can always outstand him. Let's put him to the side real quick. I'm going to tell you how he played in your mind with your healing, though. But let's put him to the side. In United States of America, in this country right here, this country that's allegedly the land of the free, in this country, they have conditioned you to accept illness. The Lord actually showed this to me when I was going through my own health journey. Think about it. Look at the billboards, look at the commercials, look at the movies. They're conditioning you to accept the cancer diagnosis. So even with doctors, if there's any type of growth, any type of cancer symptom, it can just be one mild symptom. They're automatically going to throw that as a differential diagnosis so that you can operate in fear and so that you can accept it. Do you know how many people that I know that took a cancer diagnosis and removed organs thinking that it was cancer and it turned out to be benign? So you have to be on your faith. You cannot be afraid of cancer. I don't want to say, no, you can't be afraid of cancer. That's just a tool the devil's using to take people out. You can't be afraid of people saying that word. You can't be afraid of you have to be in a position to knock things down with your faith. Because when you walk in through that fire to prove your faith, to prove God's faithfulness, they're going to be throwing all type of differential diagnoses at you. Not because you're a bad person. It's all about the money. It's about that coin, baby. It is. And if they can't make money off the surgery, unnecessary surgeries, what they're going to do is they're going to try to run your bill up at the hospital. They're going to try to do all this differential diagnosis testing just to get that bag. Y'all not making no bag off me, period. So you have to know God. You have to know who he is because you got medical that is designed in this country to make money off of you. The system is designed to keep you at the bottom and make money off you at the bottom. And then you also have the enemy. So I see people fold in their faith. When they go to the doctor because doctors are now considering lifelong illnesses before they even see you, before they run biopsy, before they do a pathology report. They're already trying to put that in the atmosphere. And if you're not aware of that, and if you're not operating in who you are as a believer, if you don't know your rights as a believer, you're not going to knock it down. When I went to the doctor in 2018, they threw all of these differential diagnoses at me. This is what this is. This is what this is. This is what this is. And the Lord said, do not let them put it on the paper. I kept knocking it down in my faith. That's why I was there for a week. I didn't really need to be there for a week, but they were running so many scans and tests because they were trying to prove to me that it was one thing and my faith said it's something else. So let's get into it. I'm going to give you some very simple tools that I want you to incorporate every day, whether you're sick or whether you're not sick. So number one thing I want you to do every day, speak life over your body, speak life over your organs. You tell your body what to do. It's easier to do this. When you have stamina. It's easy to do this while you have energy. Don't wait until you get sick to try to do this. Because I know people who get sick, that's a whole nother type of level of vulnerability and faith you got to have. So let's go ahead and start incorporating it now. Sorry, I always get lipstick on my teeth. Act like y'all ain't see that. So every day, I'm healed. I'm going to be here for a long time. All my organs are going to operate in the way God designed them to operate in. I'm not going to have anxiety. I'm not going to have a headache. Start exercising your faith with small things. Because if you can start exercising it in small things, you can knock down the bigger things. If you get a headache, you start speaking to that. You're going to be gone in 30 minutes. You're going to be gone by 30 minutes. Start exercising your faith. Do you know that your organs respond to the Lord? All of your organs respond to God. So y'all need to start listening to me. I be telling my organs that. So start doing that. Start just speaking health. God is God that heals. God is an advocate for my healing. God is going to heal my body. God has already healed my body. Just start speaking over that. Another thing I want you to do, you're going to have to exercise your faith in other things. The reason why God came through for me and God, I was able to exercise this with my faith because he still required me to use my faith. He didn't move unless I moved. I had already won battles along the way with my business, with my house, with my car, I trusted God in other things. So when this big thing came, I knew where my help come from. I didn't be like, what do I do? What do I do? I don't know what to do. I knew exactly what to do. It was the same tool of faith. God gives us all the same measure of faith. So I'm going to help you on how to exercise it. Start exercising it in the small. So when you exercise it in the small, you can knock down the big. If you are in a position where you feel that there's something wrong with your body and the doctors are telling you that they don't know what's wrong, but they want to do testing, if you're kind of like in that pending phase, don't wait for them to tell you what your result is. You go to the Lord, you go straight to God, and you close yourself off, you turn everything off, and you go straight to the Lord and say, I trust you with my body. I trust you with my life. Even if you didn't before, be like, this is a new day, Lord. I trust you with my body. I trust you with my life. You're an advocate for what I want to do. And you ask the Lord, what's going on with my body? And the Lord will tell you. If the Lord tell you you will live and not die, thank you, Lord, but you're about to go through some hell. Because God is never going to come to you and tell you something that you're never going to have to prove or something that's not going to be challenged. But just go up to the Lord and be like, what's going on in my body? Am I with the right doctor? Am I in the right city? What's going on? Whatever God shares with you, whatever God tells you, you partner with God in that. Let me tell you something else too. As much as I ride heavy with the Lord never told me, Jamie, you got 27 tumors in your body. He never told me that. God told me the same thing for years, and I never understood it. The fruit of your womb is blessed. God was telling me this when I was in my 20s. The fruit of your womb is blessed. The fruit of your womb is blessed. What else did he say? It was something else he kept saying. I can't think of it right now. It'll come back to me. The fruit of your womb is blessed. You're healed. No, he just kept saying the fruit of your womb is blessed. God will always talk to me about children. The fruit of your womb is blessed. So that's when I got that diagnosis. It knocked the wind out of me. I said, this is not what the Lord has been harassing me about. The Lord will harass me about this for years. I could come to the Lord praying on how to get some good Beyonce tickets, and he come back, the fruit of your womb is blessed. Hey, Laura, I need help with this transaction. The fruit of your womb is blessed. It was the answer to everything. And I'd be like, why does the Lord keep harassing me about children? I could never understand it until June 2018 rolled through. I said, oh, this is what you've been preparing me for. The Lord, one thing I've learned, the Lord just don't be talking to be talking. I write it down. Because I'm like, wait, what? Lord, what you talking about? Child, what you talking about? But whatever Sorry. Whatever God tells you, you partner with him. God has never backed off that with me. When I got the diagnosis, which was scary, they tried to put all type of cancer trial on me. But when they came back with it and they were trying to put it on my report, God said, the fruit of your womb is blessed. And I'm like, but Lord, but do you see these scans though? So always partner with what God says, because what God says is going to break natural law, it's going to break rule, and he's going to make room for it. So I'm going to give you some advice while you are partnering with God for your health on the other side. How do you stand in your health? How do you go about this? I'm going to help you with this, because child, I walked through this. Honestly, the healing part is not the difficult part. The maintaining is the hard part. Don't be in fear, number one. It's hard to do, but it's very, very possible. Fear is really just a decision. When you feel the anxiety, because that's all anxiety is fear. Anxiety and panic trying to roll through, don't operate in it. Ignore it. You can actually master this. And how you do it is you line yourself up and you listen. You pretty much cultivate a life of listening to everything that lines up with your healing. Don't consider anything outside of what God says. When I went through this journey, at first, I was on both sides of the spectrum. I was in a hysterectomy group, and I was in a natural healing group. And the Lord was like, you can't have it both ways, because I was believing for what God said, but I also was doing a plan B option in case I felt like he ain't come through. But you have to give it your all, and you have to put everything on the line. Like, this is what God said, and I'm willing to back my organs behind it. And it's hard to get to that place if you don't know him. Number two, keep your communication with God. God gave me step-by-step instructions to ensure that what he said came through on this side. So what I did was I kept our communication clear. I did that by operating in forgiveness. Let me tell you, I am not somebody that beefs. I don't throw shade. I don't throw shots. That's not a part of my day. I don't wake up to it. I don't care. I may have slipped up a few times when I felt like somebody was purposely working against what God had already said, but now I'm on this whole new vibe. During that time, I felt like I had to defend what God was doing. I don't defend anything. I let God defend me, but I don't live my life like that. I keep our communication clear, free and clear. I sow mercy. I sow forgiveness. I be letting stuff go along the way. It's very important. You will miss out on your healing manifestation if you operated unforgiveness. Number 3, you ain't gonna like this. You're gonna have to be in a ministry. When the devil is operating in your body, you need to go to church. You need to speak to the Lord and ask him, what ministry am I going to go to knock this down in my faith? You're not going to go to any church, but you need to go to a church to build your faith up, because you have two entities working against you, the devil and this medical system. So you have to be bossed up in your faith where you're unmovable. I'm to the place I be busting up in UNC and they already know. Okay, Jamie's here, y'all. Make sure y'all have y'all stuff together, because I have gotten to a place in my faith. I'm not going down without no fight. Like, I'm going to wrestle this thing what God has said, period. That's it. I wanted to go to Creflo's church because I moved to Atlanta, and I ended up going to Real Talk Kim's church, Pastor Kim, and I went there for 8 months, and I had to build my faith up, and it's like I would go every day, build my faith up, and that's when God came to me and showed me. He said, here's your doctor, and I walked the path, but I built it up there. So you're going to have to go to a church, and going to a church is not enough. I mean, it's enough, like, to build your faith, but let me tell you the games the devil plays. If he can get you here, he got you. You're going to have to get in control of your mind. You're going to have to. You're going to get in control of your mind. If you can't get in control of your mind, you have to operate outside of your mind. You got to leave it at the crib, because this right here, baby, this is going to dictate where you're going. And honestly, if you live a life of forgiveness, if you keep your communication pattern with the Lord on fleek, if you go to a church, not to be a part of the culture of church, but if you're just going strictly to hear from God so you can get strategy on how to defeat this enemy. And when you go to God about your faith treatment plan, that is the ingredients to knocking your healing down. When I was first diagnosed, I thought I was toast, because I said every healing manifestation that I saw was people like heavily doing declarations every day, heavily doing this, heavily, and I was like fasting and all that, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna make the cut. If you go to God, if you live a life of forgiveness, if you give God room to move, and if you do what he say, I didn't want to, there was stuff that he told me to do I didn't want to do. I didn't want to come back to North Carolina. I came, and I've been here ever since, but it's chill, it's cool. You give him room to move, and you don't select your treatment plan. You let him select it. Your healing is going to come through. I believe why people miss it is because they want to be healed on their own terms. There's no such thing. When you get God involved, you have to ride with what he's doing because he's the one that's orchestrating it. And that is how you get your healing. Forgiveness. Forgiveness is a choice, but it's also an action. I forgive you, and I'm going to give you this $500. I forgive you, and I'm going to pray for you every day. I forgive you, I'm going to send you some flowers. It has to be, it's not like I forgive them in my head. I forgive them, and I'm going to give them a cheeseburger. You have to put some action behind it, because when you do that, you dismantle the devil, and you don't give him room to move in your life. Let's talk about this dumb devil real quick. When you're going through your healing journey, and God comes through you, he's going to try to take your focus. You cannot... Let me tell you how he take your focus. Whatever you put attention to has your focus. I don't give attention to nothing. I don't give my attention to nothing. If it ain't got nothing to do with them, what the Lord told me, if it has nothing to line up with what God has said, I don't give it my attention. Because whatever you give attention to, you give your focus to. Whatever you give your focus to, then the devil has access to start making you make decisions based on what's in your head. So what you really have to do, you have to guard your heart, guard your faith, guard your mind, and you have to really protect what God tell you. Protecting what God tell you is not turning up on people. It's just pretty much saying I'm only operating in the things that God has told me to do. If he ain't say this is a part of your healing plan, I'm not giving my attention, my time, or my resources to it. I'm completely moving on, because what the devil likes to do is to rob you of your faith. He wants to wear you out and put all your attention on things that have nothing to do with God, so that when that doctor comes in that room and gives you that differential diagnosis, that you just accept it. We're not accepting anything. Sickness did not come from God. In my prayer journal, one of the things that it says is, don't accept nothing from me. One of the things it says, don't accept nothing that did not come from me. God never came to me and said I was sick. God always says, you're healed. No. He says, I've already healed you. The fruit of your womb is blessed. The fruit of your, this conversation has never changed. It stays the same. God is never going to come to you and scare you with a disease. He'll never do that. He'll say, you're healed. He'll say you're this. He'll never tell you that you're sick. He'll never do that. If you have dreams and you're tormented about dying and tumors and blood baths and you're going to die in the hospital, that's the enemy. That's not God. God will never come to you with that type of energy. He's always he speaks to who you are, not the condition that you're in. So that would be my advice. You're going to have some solid faith. Like today, you're going to start building it up, because when he comes, he's not coming while you're building your faith up. He's waiting until you're vulnerable. He's waiting until you're sick, waiting until you feel defeated. That's when he comes. He's like, it's subtle. And then what he'll do is he will throw so much stuff at you where you feel like you're getting losses along the way, so that when this illness comes or these symptoms come, that you accept it. We're not accepting nothing that God did not intend for us to have. And God did not intend for us to have sickness. God will allow certain things in your body. He'll allow it. He'll allow certain things in your body if it's going to fulfill his purpose. And then honestly, because I don't even like how people try to make people feel who are sick that they're cursed. This whole earth is cursed. What are you talking about? I'm surprised people ain't already dead. Look at the stuff they put in this food. Look at the stuff we breathe every day. Why we ain't dead? I mean, I ain't gonna say that. Anyway. So build your faith and don't back down. You can always outsing the devil. Make a liar out of him. Make a liar out of the devil. Another thing that the devil is trying to get in your mind. And let me tell you, he torments you. He messes with everybody. He tried to test Jesus and torment Jesus when he was on that 40-day fast. It's not abnormal that the devil is trying to come through. He seeks this world to see who he can devour. So what I've noticed is that the more you make a liar out of the devil, the lower his voice is. It's lower. It's lower. It kind of reminds me of Freddy Krueger. I love horror film, but Freddy Krueger is the only one I do not watch because I don't like it. It messes with my mind. With Freddy Krueger, the more fear you have against him, the stronger he becomes. That's how the devil is. So the more you feed into it, the stronger his voice is. Let me tell you how the devil lied to me and how he believes it. This is just to give you an example. Let me give you a teaser, some tea. When I was sick, right, the devil said, you're going to be dead by the end of the year. I said, what? When I got diagnosed, you ain't going to be able to beat this. So I made a liar out of him because they were trying to say it was this and it was one thing. It was horrific. And God was saying, that's not true, yada, yada, yada. So I just kept walking with my faith. At the time when I went through my healing journey, I had this, because it was crazy because I was at the peak of my career. And then like I got sick and I wanted to move to Georgia because I was tired of my market in my hometown. I've been over it since 17. I wanted to do something different. So in my mind, I said, I believe you can believe for your health and you can still be a businesswoman. I wanted to prove that. And you can be believing in health, be believing in faith for your health, and you can still be working on your dreams. I wanted to prove that. That's what I told the Lord. I said, I want to show that you can still be out here believing for your health and your healing manifestation and still building your dreams, which you can. But my faith wasn't there because I didn't realize how this devil plays. So I remember when I moved to Georgia, got my new house, and it was in a new area in Georgia that they built called Ashley Park. And I remember when I pulled out I had came up one way and I had left and got the keys and left another way. And when I turned out the other way, I didn't realize there was a cancer center right next to my home. And I remember when I pulled out, the devil said, God only gave you this house because you're going to spend majority of your time at that cancer center. And when I tell you I had a panic attack, I pulled over to the gas station. I said, it just came out of nowhere. I said, and it's like when he said it was like women coming out with like bandanas, like they were coming out with bandanas, and like this was a new journey for me. So I remember I used to have bad anxiety. You know what? I didn't have anxiety. It was just that the growths were so big. They were pressing on my diaphragm. So I had to get my breathing on track. So I was at the gas station for 20 minutes praying until it left. So then I went about my day. And then I remember, this is why I don't fool with some people in my hometown. I was still doing deals in my hometown. And this woman knew what was going on. Only some of my clients knew what was going on, either if I told them or it was when I was in the hospital. And I remember she said, they told you got what? And the way she said it, my panic, I couldn't breathe. She said, girl, I wouldn't do that. Like, that's how psycho she was. And it just threw me off. I had a panic attack. So I got in the car. I'll never forget this day. I had to pull over. I couldn't breathe. This is TMI. I took all my clothes off in the car because I felt like I couldn't breathe. This girl gave me an anxiety attack. And I just, I was on the side of the road to get my breath. And then it left 30 minutes later. And I remember my first closing. So in Georgia, I actually sold a house on vacation. And I remember we were in the closing and my cycle came on, and I remember I kept trying to squirm throughout the closing. And at that time in Atlanta, like when you do a closing, you can't leave until the loan has been funded. So we were in there for hours, and I'm sitting in there like, I can feel this blood coming out. It's about to be a bloodbath. And it was so much blood. I was in there like, hurry up. And I kept going back and forth to the bathroom. And it's like, this was the worst cycle. Like, you know, it just would not. I was blood. It was disgusting. And I remember I looked down at my feet in the office, and there was blood in my shoes. And I just left. And that's when I made the decision. I said, I don't think this is wise. I don't think I'm in a position where I can believe for my business and believe for my health at the same time. It's possible. But what the devil does is that he'll mess with you in your wants. You can be blinded by your wants. Like, he knows Jamie wants this career, so he would mess with me through it. Like, I would have bad panic attacks. I would be stuck in traffic, hemorrhaging all over the place. So what I decided, I remember God told me, he said, I want you to take a year off from work. I took 5 years. I want you to take a year off from work and just focus on your health. And that's what I did. I targeted my health because that's how the devil lies. And I remember but I was making progress. Started to make progress. That's when I noticed his lies started to change different. First, you told me I was going to be dead by the end of the year. It's a new year, boo. I'm still here. Period. I'm 31 now. You said I was going to be dead by 30. Made a liar out of him with that. Then when I was believing for my body, because one of the things they were like, you'll never get your hemoglobin over a 5. Baby, my hemoglobin is at 11. Okay, next. Made a liar out of that. Then I started to really focus on my health and my body, just really targeting my faith. And one of the lies the devil said was, he was over death in the grave. Then he was like, well, you're going to die when you give birth. So then I would focus my healing and faith on, I'm going to live to see all my children and my grandchildren. I'm not going to die giving birth. I'm not going to do this. Every lie he came, I would counteract it with something else. Like, you're a liar. These are not my thoughts. These are the games he played with you. These are the games. And I kept every morning. And I want to say after that, he said, all your kids going to be special needs. That's when I said, wait a minute. First you said I was going to die at 30. Then you said I was going to bleed out. Then you said I was going to do this. That's when I realized, you just be making up lies along the way to see what's going to stick. Those are the games he plays. God will never come to you with that. That is the devil. You have to immediately boss up in your faith. And you may not be there yet. Throw on these heavy hitter ministers. Throw on Miranda Curtis, her singing about her healing. Throw on Archbishop Duncan Williams. Throw him on. These are people that have wrestled with this devil. They know how he operates and they know how to fight back. Because what happens is he'll sell you something. He'll put fear in your mind and then you accept it because you're scared. Don't be scared. Boss up. You can have the feeling of being afraid but you don't have to operate in it. And that's how he plays. So let me tell you. So I'm going on a trip on Friday for my birthday. I'm so hyped. I've been nervous about it because I forgot to get my passport. And now it's got down to the bottom line. Like, where's my passport? My travel person, they're like, where's your passport? You're not going to be able to get it in time. So I was going to do a rush service on it. It was like $1,000 to get my passport. And when I was doing it, the Lord flashed me just going to DC to get my passport. So I took the risk and went to DC to get my passport. We fly out Friday. So Monday I made an appointment to get my passport in DC. And as I'm getting closer to it, the devil kept saying, you're not going to get your passport. Well, he didn't say that at first. He said, you're going to get into a car accident up there. You're going to get into a car accident driving up there. You're going to flip. One of the lies he tells me all the time, when I put my top down, you're going to flip upside down. You're going to flip upside down. You're going to get into a car accident. The devil used to harass me with this car child. Let me tell you what the devil used to be saying. He'll be like, you're going to get into a car accident. It was to the point that, because I'm used to driving up. This is my first sports car. So I would be driving my old car, and the Lord made me give my car away because I'm like, why are you still driving your old car? I got you a new car. But nonetheless, the devil's like, they're going to hit you, you're going to flip over. You're going to hit you, they're going to flip over. And I didn't get into a car accident. I drove there safe. Then he said, well, your hotel, because I didn't book my hotel. I forgot. I just booked the hotel when I got there. There's not going to be no hotel for you when you get there. There's a convention going to town. There's not going to be a hotel. I booked the hotel. There was no issue with booking the hotel. Then I booked the hotel. The next morning, the devil said, you're not going to get your passport. You're not going to get your passport. You don't have all your information. You're not going to get it. They're not going to give it to you. You wasted all your time spending all that money on the trip that you can't even go to. You're not going to be able to go on this trip because you don't have your passport. And I remember the Lord woke me up at 6 a.m. and told me to go to the airport and get my trip itinerary plans because I forgot that. And that's what I did. And so I went to the airport, and when I was going to the airport, the devil said, they're not going to give you your trip itinerary. You're going to get lost in that because the Ronald Reagan airport is like big. You're going to get lost in the airport. You're going to spend hours in the parking lot. I'm like, what? Like, where is these? And the Lord said, Jamie, just stay focused. I just stay focused. I got my trip itinerary. Then I went to the passport agency. The whole time I'm nervous, shaking, dropping stuff. And they're like, the security was like, yo, you got to chill, breathe. So I breathed, filled out my information. The devil's like, you ain't getting your passport. They're not going to give it to you same day. Your plans ain't going to work. You wasted all this money on this trip. Blah, 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 blah. I got my passport same day. I got it same day. So I get my passport and I get in my car. I made a lie out the devil again. The devil goes, you will catch COVID for your flight. It's like, what? His lies are so inconsistent. That's how he get down. But anyway, as you go on your health journey, which is what I want you to do, I'm going to give you the advice I wish somebody gave me When you go on this health journey, you go with the Lord. Like, Lord, I'm rocking with you, because God is going to give you your own faith treatment plan. You're going to get a treatment plan from the right doctor. And then you're also going to get your faith treatment plan from God. God's faith treatment plan usually has nothing to do with your body, everything to do with forgiveness and letting things go. I'm just giving y'all a spoiler alert. So when you get your vibing with God and stuff, this is the advice I would give my other self, my younger self, when I was going through this, because I went through it. That faith journey, baby, was a lot of panic, because the Lord told me, he said, I don't want you going through no more faith journeys like that. He said, you was going through it like, I'm going to do it, but I don't know if the Lord going to come through. I'm going to do it, but I don't know if the Lord going to come through. So as you go on your faith journey, I want your health journey. One is going to be a beautiful journey, because you're going to see how heavy God ride for you, period. You're going to see a new side of God for you. And he's not going to allow you to carry the weight, the fear, or the anxiety of it. So the first advice I would give is to write out what this is not going to take from you. For me, I said, this is not going to take my femininity. This is not going to take my sense of humor. This is not going to take my personality. I still want to be able to laugh at the things I think is funny. I'm going to listen to the music I want to listen to. It's not changing who I am. Because when you go through a health journey, especially if it has anything to do with body changes, it has the potential to change how you feel about things. And this is not what this is going to do. This wound is going to serve me. That's what this is going to do. I'm going to sit on top of this. That's the energy I want you to be on. I'm going to still be cute. It's not going to rob that. It's not going to take that from me. So that's what I want you to do with that. The second thing I want you to do is continue to be yourself. Don't operate out of it. Do not Okay, let me tell you something too. There's nothing cute about being sick. The devil has been gaining territory with medical and sickness, that he has people convinced that it's cute to be sick. You will never see me pose in a hospital. You will never see me posing with my doctor. She cute, but nah, I'm good, sis. This is not my resting place. I will not be in the hospital, because I'm either exercising my faith, or y'all trying to run up my bill. Y'all not going to be doing that with me no more. There's a new J Cell in town, child. You have those moments, those vulnerable moments, those moments where you feel defeated. You're not. They're lies from the enemy. Just give yourself time to release it, express your frustration with God, and get back on your vibe. Don't let nobody throw you off. It's not abnormal to go on a journey like this and to lose friends. It's okay. Your health is more important. Who you are to God is more important. And what God has planned for you is more important than that. So just stay focused on that. Read up on some healing stuff with Kenneth Hagin. Getting the healing is easy. Maintaining it is hard, because when you have realized that God is actually out here healing folks and replacing organs, the devil is trying to rob that from you. So he's going to come at you more with them choppas, the rocket launchers, to try to convince you that what you experienced was not God, but it was. And don't allow people to make you feel insignificant. One of the things I was so shocked, and I'm still kind of shocked to this day, that people thought like, yeah, something wrong with her. Don't let people's insecurities take away anything from you. It's unfortunate that you have to be a real insecure woman to get your confidence when you think or you feel that somebody is going through something. Just because you're going through a healing journey does not mean that you're less than, doesn't mean that it's bad. You're just going through something and you're exercising your faith with God. And I will say, the thing that I'm hype about you with this healing journey is because you're going to really see how God get down. And there's just a boldness you're going to have. God held me down with these kidneys, bro. I don't care about these bills. You're going to operate in a whole new vibe of boldness and freedom and liberty. So that's what I'm excited about you for. But listen to Kenneth Hagin. Start learning about healing. Focus on it. Experiment with it. Exercise your faith. And ask God, what church do I need to go to build my faith? Period. And don't be bad if you got to bounce. I have no loyalty to nobody. I'm loyal to what God's words have said over my life. If it don't agree with what God has spoken over my life, I'm not loyal to nobody. Jamie is not no loyalty. What is it? Loyalist. I think that's what they call it. I'm not no patriot of no entity. I'm not. I'm riding heavy for what God told me. And if I got to bounce, I got to bounce. If I got to dip, I got to dip, period. Because what he's requiring of me is still on my back. So one thing about me, because if it does not line up with what God is saying, I'm not about to be warring with you to war. Child, please. Oh, another thing too. God gave me this really cute. So I'm into movies, and I'm gonna let y'all go because, child, I'll be going off key or off topic. My favorite movie right now is Woman King. Let me tell you why. So God be talking to me through movies because I told y'all I'm a visual. Well, I told my TikTok I'm a visual person. I see it in my mind. I see visions. So Woman King is one of my favorite movies right now. Like, I've watched it a lot. I bought it. I seen it twice in the theater. Actually, 3 times in the theater. So my favorite part is when they're about to go to war. And before they go to war, they do this dance. I'm going to post a dance. This dance and this ritual. And when I was watching it, and God said, Jamie, that's how I want you to be when you're about to go to battle. He said, when you used to go to battle, he said, when you went to battle with your health, he said, you was kind of looking over your shoulder, like the Lord going to come through. And he said, that was fine for that moment of time because, you didn't really know that I rode for you that heavy. He's like, but now I want you to be hype. I want you to be cute. I want you to get dressed up. I want you to knock this down with your faith. I want you to do your dance before you go. Celebrate your victory before you get up in there. That's what I want y'all to do with y'all health. Every doctor's visit, I was super cute. Every doctor's visit, I had my lashes on. I was cute. I had my heels on. I was not going to allow the devil to tell me who I am. You don't have that right to do that. I went and got cute. One of my homies was like, I don't like that you be saying getting cute. Hold up, bro. I don't care what you say because you don't know what we have to battle through as a woman. Being cute and being carefree is revolutionary with your faith. So you're making a liar out of the devil. I'm not conforming to what they're saying. I'm going to rise above it. I don't care how I feel. Past my lashes. I don't care what's going on the inside. All of my organs could be warring against each other. Pass me my Fenty. Pass me my rare beauty. I'm not going to be subjected and operate out of what the devil is trying to make me do. So that would be my advice. You start getting hype before you get your no evidence of disease. Other thing too, and I'm going to let y'all go. You also tell this journey, you're not going to bankrupt me. I'm not going to be broke over this. Y'all ain't going to be running up these bills, period. I'm not taking unnecessary exams and meds. Y'all are not going to be sending me $30,000 bills. I'm not going to spend a life of paying medical. I'm not going to do it. You tell these wounds what it's going to do. Period. Okay, I'm done. I hope y'all got something from this. Please follow me on TikTok, Jamie Yonsei. This week, before I leave my trip, I'm going to post maybe 2 or 3 videos because I'm going to be gone for a long time on this trip. I will be back, but I want to talk about my new project, A Beautified Bee, of redesigning these bathrooms. So